morning, student. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So in last class, we have discussed the symmetrical fault. Under symmetrical fault, we have actually we have seen that there are what are the different conditions of the symmetrical fault, and we have also seen that how to solve the numerical problems. Okay, so I think we have solved the numerical problems also on symmetrical fault. Yes or no? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay, so we'll start with the unsymmetrical fault. So unsymmetrical fault means basically in broad difference of these two kinds of fault. Let us say I will just discuss in the board. Okay, so there are basically two kinds of fault. So one is your symmetrical fault. So this is a symmetrical fault, and then there is a unsymmetrical fault. Now in symmetrical fault, we have seen that the fault, it is occurring in the three phases simultaneously. So it is a kind of a three-phase fault. It is a three-phase fault. So when we are calculating the current, so we are supposed to calculate the current in one phase. So one phase fault current is calculated and it remains same for other phases. So after that, we are supposed to calculate the fault MVA. So that calculation and all those things, we have done it. Okay. Now in unsymmetrical fault, from the name, it is clear that it is a kind of fault which is not symmetrical in nature. So simultaneously, there will not be fault in three phases. There will be fault may occur in one phase, it may occur in two phase, okay, or between two phase. So, and based on that, the fault current will vary. So in this case, your fault may occur in one phase, maybe in or between phases. So there will be, these are the possibilities. And based on that, the fault current will vary in different phases, that will vary. And obviously the voltage, that voltage may be line to line, or the phase will also vary. And obviously in that case, the whole system, it is a unbalanced kind of thing, unbalanced nature. So we can understand that unsymmetrical fault and symmetrical fault, it is totally different. Okay, symmetrical fault will occur in a balanced system, unsymmetrical fault will occur in an unbalanced system. So now we'll see that what is this particularly unsymmetrical fault. So the great majority, so my slide is visible, na? The slide is visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So you see the great majority of faults on the power system are of unsymmetrical nature, the most common type being a short circuit from one line to ground. So the fault may occur in different category, but most common the type of fault is a single line to ground fault. See, one phase is directly shorted with the ground. So that is basically short circuit occurs between a phase and a ground, and that is a short circuit. When such a fault occurs, it gives rise to an unsymmetrical current. Unsymmetrical currents, you need to understand what is unsymmetrical current. When the currents in different phases will be different, then it is an unsymmetrical current. It is not equal. It is not equal in different phases. That is, the magnitude of fault current in the three lines are different, having unequal phase displacement. So there is the magnitude of the fault current in the three phases will be different and having the unequal phase displacement. But if it is a symmetrical fault, in that case, the phase displacement will be same. Now, the calculation procedure known as the method of symmetrical component is used to determine the currents and voltages on the occurrence of an unsymmetrical fault. So when there is an unsymmetrical fault, in that case, the method of symmetrical components is normally used. Okay, this is the method. Okay, we'll understand that the process which is adopted to calculate the fault current and the voltage. So those parameters are basically calculated with the help of method of symmetrical components. Now, those faults on the power system which gives rise to unsymmetrical fault currents, that is unequal fault currents in the lines with unequal phase displacements, are known as the unsymmetrical. So this is the basic definition. Okay, what is unsymmetrical fault? This is basically, in this case, the fault which is basically gives rise to the unsymmetrical fault current, unequal, that is fault current in the lines with unequal phase displacement. So magnitude is unequal and phase is also unequal, then we can say that is an unsymmetrical fault. So on the occurrence of an unsymmetrical fault, the currents in the three lines becomes unequal, and so is the phase displacement among them. It may be noted that the term unsymmetry applies only to the fault itself and the resulting line currents. So that is the basically we need to understand that the fault itself, it is an unsymmetrical nature, and the currents which will finally fault current will flow in the system, that is also unsymmetrical in nature. That means that is unequal magnitude and unequal phase displacement. So there are three ways in which unsymmetrical faults may occur in a power system. This is very, very important. What are the different kinds of unsymmetrical faults which is occurring in the unsymmetrical system? First is the single line to ground fault. So the single line to ground fault, from here you can understand there is R, Y, and B. Three phases are there, and suddenly one phase is grounded. So that is basically line to ground fault. Then second is the line to line fault between two phases. I told you, either the fault can occur in a single phase, it can occur in a two phases to ground, and maybe between the two phases. So this is the between two phases. There is a fault that is a line to line fault, and then third one is the double line to ground fault. So two phases it is shorted and then it is finally grounded. So that is basically double line to ground fault. So the nomenclature which is normally used in this particular unsymmetrical fault analysis, first is the LG fault, then is the LL fault, and third one is the LLG fault. Okay, now, or it is also sometimes it is known as 2LG fault also. Okay, so this is the basically broad classification of this particularly unsymmetrical fault. Now, the solution of the symmetrical fault problems can be obtained by either Kirchhoff's laws or symmetrical components method. The latter method is preferred because of the following reason. See, we can solve this particular unsymmetrical fault in two different ways. First is the Kirchhoff's law, which we are actually familiar with. And second is the symmetrical components. But we don't know what is symmetrical component method. But this symmetrical component method, it is more simpler, or rather we'll have certain advantages with the help of if we apply this method. So normally when we are actually solving these unsymmetrical fault problems, at that time we'll use the symmetrical component theory. So the latter method is preferred because of the following reasons. Number one, it is simple method and it gives more generality to be given to fault performance studies. Second is it provides a useful tool for the protection engineers, particularly in connection with the tracing out of the fault current. So this particular method, it is a very useful tool for protection engineers, and particularly in connection with the, if we need to trace it, the particularly the fault current. Now, what is the symmetrical component method? So we need to understand what is the symmetrical component method in detail. So first is
One question.
Hello.
Sir, one question. Sir, one question I needed to ask. Sir.
Please. You ask.
Sir, which one of these faults is most severe, sir?
Yeah, that is a very good question. See, normally, if we compare the symmetrical fault and then there is an unsymmetrical fault, now the symmetrical fault is more severe than the unsymmetrical. Okay, so the three-phase fault, three-phase short circuit, if it is basically it falls under the symmetrical fault. So this fault is much more severe, or let us say this is the first kind of, or the fault current will be too high. So this symmetrical fault is the highest kind of fault, which is actually categorized in the power system. Okay. Next. So a balanced system of three-phase currents having positive or normal phase sequence, these are called a positive sequence component. See, we need to understand that symmetrical component method. In symmetrical component method, normally we actually categorize this unsymmetrical fault current. It is decomposed into three components. One is the positive sequence component, second is the negative phase sequence component, and third is the zero phase sequence component. So these are the very new term to you, but we'll understand in detail that what is this positive sequence component of current, what is negative phase sequence component of current, and what is zero phase sequence component of current. So first is a positive sequence current, a balanced system of three-phase currents having positive or normal phase sequence. These are called the positive sequence component. We'll understand in detail with the phasor diagram and all. So we'll first just understand the definition part. Now, a balanced system of three-phase currents having the opposite or the negative phase sequence. These are called the negative phase sequence components of current. So the whatever we have in the positive sequence components of current, positive sequence component, it may be this sequence component. It is applicable to voltage as well as to the current. Now, third one is a system of three currents equal in magnitude and having zero phase displacement. In zero phase sequence component, the phase displacement will be also zero. So only in the zero sequence component, there will be only the magnitude. There will not be any phase displacement. So these are called basically zero phase sequence components. Now the positive, negative, and zero phase sequence components are called as symmetrical components of the original unbalanced system. So this is the basically main, we can say these are the basically pillar of the unsymmetrical fault current or voltage. So whenever we have an unsymmetrical fault, we'll understand that this fault again, it has two parts. One is the voltage, another is the current. Now, whenever there is a fault, the current will be high, the voltage will be low. That is the normal kind of nature. Now, in that case, when we have to analyze this thing, we need to calculate what is the actual value of the voltage and current, and so many things. So, in that case, we need to understand these voltage and current, this unsymmetrical voltage and current can be decomposed into three components. One is the positive sequence, another is the negative sequence, another is the zero sequence. So these are the basically three pillars of the unsymmetrical fault. So see, this unsymmetrical fault component, current or voltage, it is composed of three components. One is the positive sequence, another is the negative sequence, and third is the zero sequence. These things should be clear to you. Okay, and what is this positive, negative, and zero phase sequence? We'll discuss now in detail. Okay. Now, the term symmetrical is appropriate because the unbalanced three-phase system has been resolved into three sets of balanced or or symmetrical component. So basically, we are dealing with the unsymmetrical fault. Okay, but here we are actually dealing with the symmetrical component. So that means basically these three components, positive, negative, and zero sequence, these three components are basically the part of this unsymmetrical fault analysis. So this unsymmetrical components, unsymmetrical fault, it is decomposed into three symmetrical components. One is the positive, another is the negative, and a third one is the zero. So that's why this unbalanced component always it is decomposed into these three components. Now the subscripts 1, 2, and 0 are generally used to indicate positive, negative, and zero phase sequence components respectively. So whenever we will call, let us say, positive sequence current, that subscript will be 1. We have to understand this thing. When there is a negative phase sequence, then the subscript will be 2. And whenever there is a zero sequence current, it will be the subscript we will normally use, that is the 0. So this is the notation which is normally used in the unsymmetrical fault analysis. Now we'll understand this thing with the help of phasor representation. We have to understand that what is this positive, what is this negative, and what is this zero sequence components of voltage and current. So let us now apply the symmetrical components theory to an unbalanced three-phase system. Suppose an unsymmetrical fault occurs on a three-phase system having phase sequence RYB. So let us say there is the RYB system. Okay. Now, according to the symmetrical component theory, the resulting unbalanced current IR, IY, and IB can be resolved into, we know that any unsymmetrical current can be decomposed into three components. One is the positive sequence, second one is the negative sequence, third one is the zero sequence. So how we'll give this notation? See, here it is IR1. Okay. Now, next we have this IY1, that is 120-degree phase shift, and then we have a IB1. So in the positive sequence, you need to understand this, the phasors will always rotate in the positive direction. So this is R to Y, then Y to B, and B to Y, B to R. So phasor rotation it is in the clockwise direction. Now let us come to the negative phase sequence component of current. Okay, negative, this is applicable for the voltage also. Voltage, if you write VR1, this will be VY1 and this will be VV1. So this symmetrical component theory is applicable to the voltage as well as for the current, both. Now in negative phase sequence current, you see negative phase sequence, this is IR2. So from R to Y, IY2 is 120-degree phase shift, and Y2 to B2 it is again 120-degree phase shift, and then IB2 and IR2 it is again 120-degree phase shift. But what is the difference between this and this? Here the phasor rotation it is in the anti-clockwise direction. You see R to Y, then Y to B, and B to R. So phasor it is rotating in the anti-clockwise direction, whereas in the positive sequence current, the phasor is rotating in the clockwise direction. Now third one is the zero sequence current. Zero sequence current, we know that the phasor displacement is zero. There is no phase displacement. The phase displacement is zero. That's why it has only the magnitude. So IR 0, IY 0, and IB 0, these all are parallel. Okay, and they have no phase displacement. So I will just draw this thing in a board, and I will make you understand this thing once again. So because it is a new thing, so here I will draw this thing once again so that you can understand. This is your, let us say, three phasors. So here, this is your, for example, this is your IR1, and this is, we are drawing the positive sequence current. So positive sequence means it is the phasor rotation, it is in the clockwise direction. This is 120-degree. This is your IY1. And then we have again another is 120-degree. So this is your IB1. And obviously this and this, it is again, it is 120-degree phase shift. So this is your positive sequence. representation of the positive sequence. Now we'll do for the negative sequence. So for the negative sequence, the rotation sequence will be it will be reversed. So here, this is your IR2, that is your negative sequence component of current. Now here the phasor rotation will be in the anti-clockwise direction. That's why this is 120 degree. So this will be your, see here we are writing 1, 1, 1 because it is a positive sequence. But when we are writing for the negative sequence, the subscript becomes 2. So this will be your IY2 and this will be your IB2. So this is your 120 degree. This is your 120 degree. So you have to understand here the phasor rotation, it is in positive direction. Here the phasor rotation, it is in the negative direction. Okay. Now we'll come to the zero sequence component of current. So zero sequence, these three are parallel. These three are parallel. Okay, but here the phase displacement, it will be 0. So that means this is your IR0, this is your IY0, and this is your IB0. Okay, so this is your representation for negative sequence. This is the representation of the negative sequence, and this is the representation for the zero sequence. Any doubt on this particular representation? Anyone? Do you have any doubt?
No, sir.
Clear? Okay. Okay. So next is, so a balanced system of three-phase currents, that is IR1, IY1, and IB1 having positive sequence current, that is RYB as shown in figure 1. So whatever we have shown here, that is basically described in this particular slide. These are the positive sequence components. Second is the balanced system of three-phase currents, IR2, IY2, and IB2 having negative sequence current RBY as shown in figure 2. These are the negative phase sequence components. And third one is the system of three currents, IR0, IY0, and IB0 equal in magnitude with zero phase displacement from each other as shown in figure 3. These are the zero phase sequence components. So basically this is the description of the slide, which is actually here this particular corresponding to this diagram. Now next is that the current in any phase is equal to the vector sum of the positive, negative, and zero phase sequence current in that phase as shown in figure. So we have to understand that this positive sequence, this total phase current, it is the summation of the positive sequence current, then the negative sequence current, and the zero sequence current. See, every time we are talking on the current, but it is applicable to voltage also. See, whenever there is a, we need to understand the symmetrical component theory. It is applicable for the current as well as it is applicable for the voltage. So whatever equations you are writing for the currents, the same equation it is valid for the voltage. So there will not be any separate discussion for the voltage. Okay. So here you can see this IR equal to IR1 plus IR2 plus IR0, IY equal to IY1, IY2, and IY0, and IB equal to IB1 plus IB2 plus IB0. So that is the basically representation. So here we'll also similar thing, we'll just write, we'll understand this thing, that this this thing. So here if we write this thing, so maybe here. So IR equal to this IR equal to, see this IR1 plus this IR2 plus this IR0. So we need to understand that these particular phase current, it is the basically these are the three components which will be added to calculate the phase current, that is the R phase current. Then IY, this is equal to IY1 plus IY2 plus IY0. Similarly, that is this one, this plus your this one and this one. Then IB, that IB will be equal to IB1 plus IB2 plus IB0. So that means this plus your this one plus this one. This will be your IB. So the phase current, that is the IR, IY and IB, we can calculate. So just a minute. Okay, my slide is visible, no? My slide is visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the following points may be noted. First is the positive phase sequence current IR1, IY1 and IB1. Negative phase sequence current IR2, IY2 and IB2. And zero phase sequence current IR0, IY0 and IB0 separately form balanced system of currents. These are balanced current. Okay. But the phase current IR, IY and IB, those currents are balanced or unbalanced? Phase currents IR, IY and IB, please tell me.
Unbalanced, sir.
Unbalanced, correct. So as they are called the symmetrical components of the unbalanced system. So your sequence components are balanced. Sequence component, these are the sequence component. These are the basically sequence component. These currents are balanced. These currents are balanced. But the system current, that is the phase current and your line current, those currents are basically unbalanced. And that's why we are applying this symmetrical component theory. Second, the symmetrical component theory applies equally to the three-phase currents and voltages, both phase and line values. So whatever we have discussed, that this particular theory, it is applicable for the currents as well as the voltages. And we know that in a three-phase system, we have a phase representation and we have a line representation. So we know for a star connection and for a delta connection, we have the separate rule. Okay. Now, third is that the symmetrical components do not have separate existence. They are only mathematical components of unbalanced currents or voltages which actually flow in the system. See, we need to understand these symmetrical component currents or voltages. There is no physical existence of this particular voltage and current in the system. Okay, when you have an electrical system, so don't expect that these symmetrical components, currents or voltages will exist in the system. Only, yes, the currents and voltages which you can observe, that is basically unbalanced currents or voltages, which actually you can measure, actually you can calculate. Okay. But why we have taken the symmetrical components theory, that is basically for the calculation purpose or for the analysis purpose. In a balanced three-phase system, negative and zero phase sequence currents are zero. So see, we have discussed symmetrical faults. Okay, in symmetrical faults, we need to understand in symmetrical fault, positive sequence currents will only exist. There is no existence of the negative phase sequence current and zero phase sequence current in a balanced three-phase system. So in a symmetrical fault analysis, only the positive sequence current will exist. There is no existence of the negative phase sequence and no existence of the zero phase sequence. So as the symmetrical component theory involves the concept of 120-degree phase displacement in the positive sequence set and negative sequence set, therefore it is desirable to evolve some operator which should cause 120-degree rotation. See, what we have actually understood there is a phasor rotation of 120 degree. Suddenly we have seen from IR2 to IY2 there is a 120 degree phase displacement. From IY2 to IB2 there is a 120 degree phase displacement. So like that. So in this positive and negative phase sequence, we can understand that there is a phase displacement of 120 degree. But how to do that thing? So there is an operator. There is an operator, A operator, which is basically causing this 120 degree phase displacement. So the beauty of this particular operator, A operator, it has the magnitude is unity, but the angle which you can actually have the phase displacement, that is the 120 degree. So the operator A is 1, which when multiplied to a vector, rotates the vector through 120 degree in the anti-clockwise direction. So we need to understand that when we multiply this A operator with certain vector, so vector will be rotated by 120 degree in the anti-clockwise direction, not in the clockwise direction. So phasor rotation is always possible in the anti-clockwise direction. So let us understand how it happens. Consider a vector represented by way as shown in the figure. If this vector is multiplied by an operator A, the vector is rotated through 120 degree in the anti-clockwise direction and assumes the position O. So let us say OA is here. So this is I. Now when we are multiplying this with A, you are multiplying A with I, what will happen? This will take the position of this one. Similarly, again if you apply this, again you multiply AI with A, so this becomes A square into I. Again there will be phase displacement of 120 degree. So the phasor will be now moving to this position. Now again if you are multiplying A square I with A, so this will be A cube. So A cube into this. So that means A cube I. So A cube I equal to I, that means you are basically A cube equal to 1. So we can understand that if you multiply any A vector with this with any vector, so basically the vector gets rotated by 120 degree in the anti-clockwise direction. So what is A basically? A is AI. So this is I angle 120 degree. So what is angle 120 degree? This is cos 120 degree plus J sin 120. So that means cos 120 degree is minus 0.5 and sin 120 degree is 0.866. So finally we are getting A operator value. It is minus 0.5 plus J 0.866. Similarly, if let us say if you have a square I, so A square I means this is I angle 240 degree, because 120 degree plus 120 degree, there is a total phase displacement with reference to this particular way. The total phase displacement is from here to here, it is 240 degree. So this is cos 240 degree plus J sin 240 degree. So cos 240 degree it is minus 0.5 and J sin 240 degree it is minus J 0.866. So A square value we can say this is minus 0.5 minus J 0.866. Now we are calculating AQY. So AQY is I angle 360 degree. So that is I angle cos 360 degree plus J sin 360 degree. So cos 360 degree equal to your 0. Cos 360 degree equal to your 1 and sin 360 degree equal to 0. So then you will get A cube equal to 1. So we can understand that how we are shifting this position, how the vectors are basically rotated. So now you see this A plus A square. Now we are doing some addition. A equal to minus 0.5 plus J 0.66. Now A square equal to minus 0.5 minus J 0.866. So if we are adding these two, this becomes minus 1. So we can write one identity, that is 1 plus A square equal to 0. Okay. Now another thing is A minus A square. Now previously we have actually multiplied this thing. Now we are subtracting this thing. So A is this one minus 0.5 plus J 0.66 minus 0.5 minus J 0.66. So that means this becomes J 1.732. J 1.732 means this is J root 3. So A minus A square equal to J root 3. So finally, this is the two identity we are getting. So first identity is 1 plus A square equal to 0. And second identity is A minus A square equal to J root 3. Is it clear? Any doubt? Any doubt till this point? Hello?
Clear, sir.
Yeah, na? Okay, fine. So now I will share with you the attendance. Just a minute, wait for some time. Okay, so QR code is visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Please put your attendance.
Sir,
Yes, please. Please tell me.
sir, when the college will open?
See, just wait for some time. Okay. Actually, government has given the permission for final year only. We are expecting that similar kind of permission we'll get. Then obviously it will be open for the remaining batches. Okay. So just wait for, say, you are waiting for since last 1 year. So maybe few more days you have to wait. And definitely we are waiting for the government permission. So as and when we'll get, definitely the classes will be resumed in the physical mode. But most of you are now vaccinated, na?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So please get your vaccine from the nearest center because it is required now. Okay. Let us wait for some time. Definitely, if it is open, then you will know all the notice and all. Okay. So we are also waiting for that. It is now open for only final year, but final year almost classes we have finished online. So that's why it is actually for the remaining year we are waiting for the government permission. Okay. So all of you have given this attendance.
Yes, sir.
Attendance you have given, na? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I'll stop share this thing now. Okay. Now next is now we'll continue with this. So symmetrical components in terms of phase currents. Okay. So these unbalanced phase currents in a three-phase system can be expressed in terms of symmetrical component as well. So we know that IR equal to IR1 plus IR2 plus IR0, IY equal to IY1 plus IY2 plus IY0, and IB equal to IB1 plus IB2 plus IB0. So this is the basically representation. So we know this thing that what is IR, IY, and IB, and these are basically it is basically summation of the positive sequence, negative sequence, and the zero sequence. Now let us say how to represent it. Now we know that for a positive sequence component, this is IR1, this is IY1, and this is IB, because the phasor rotation it is in the clockwise direction. Now let us say you come to here. So IR1 is okay, but IY1, if you have to represent in terms of IR1, so this will be obviously a square into IR. Now let us say similarly, if you have to, because this is why this is a square. What is the basically reason? Because the A is in the anti-clockwise direction. A will be multiplied in the anti-clockwise direction. So anti-clockwise, it is 240-degree phase displacement. So that's why it is a square. Now IB1, it is A into IR1. because from IR1 to IB1, this is anti-clockwise, it is 120-degree phase shift. So that's why it is A into IR1. Now let us come to this negative phase sequence. Negative phase sequence IR2. IR2 is here. So your normally this will be IR2, then IY2 and IB2 according to the phasor representation of the negative sequence component of current. Now IR2 and IY2, there is a anti-clockwise, they are 120-degree phase shift. So that is A into IR2. And from here to this IB2, it is again anti-clockwise, it is 240-degree phase shift. 240-degree phase shift means it is A square into IR2. So I will just draw this thing so that you can understand. Okay, so for example, this is your IR1. Now we know as per your positive sequence theory, this is IR1. So IY1 will be, the phasor rotation will be in the positive direction. So this is your 120-degree. And again, this will be your 120-degree. So this is your IB1. So this is your 120-degree. Now you see, when you introduce this A, so the rotation of A is always in the anti-clockwise direction. So there is no concept of clockwise direction. So what will happen for this case, anti-clockwise, IR1 and IB1, they are separated by 120 degree. And we know that 120 degree means A. So here we can write this is A into IR1. Is it clear? Please, if you are not understanding this, tell me. Okay. Is it clear?
No, sir.
Okay. So first this point is clear, na? IR1 and IY1 and IB1. This point is
yes, sir.
Now we are introducing this A. A is the operator. It has magnitude is unity and angle is 120 degree. But the rotation of this A is always in the anti-clockwise direction. This is always in the anti-clockwise, not in clockwise. Okay. So anti-clockwise means this direction. Now you see from IR1 to IB1, what is the angle? That is a 120 degree. Okay. This angle
Yes,
is
sir.
120 degree. Now, if you multiply IR1 with A, you will get IB1 because it is in the anti-clockwise direction. Yes or no? This is your IR1. Now you are multiplying this with A. So what will happen? We know that if any vector, if it is multiplied with A, so there will be 120 degree phase shift in anti-clockwise direction. So if you multiply A with this IR1, so vector will be rotated in the anti-clockwise direction and this will be your A into IR1. Is it clear now? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So this A into IR1 is basically your IB1. This is your IB1. Now again if you multiply this AIR1 with A, so this becomes A square into IR1. So again there will be 120 degree phase shift in this direction. So that is your, again there is a phase displacement of 120 degree. So that means this vector now take the position of this one, because if you multiply any vector with A, so there will be phase displacement of 120 degree and the direction will be anti-clockwise. So again you are multiplying here A, so that means this becomes A square into IR1. And this a square into I1 is your IY1. So this is your a square into IR1. Now is it clear? Is it clear?
तो 240 हो जाएगा ना सर एंगल? एंगल 240 हो जाएगा ना?
Angle 240 हो जाएगा. Correct. You are right. You are right. So 240 degree. 240 degree किसके लिए? Because of from here to here. Okay, this is 240 degree. And as you are multiplying with IR1. ठीक है? Any doubt? With this positive, this is your positive sequence. किसी का डाउट है? Okay, so this negative sequence, similar way, okay, so this is your negative sequence. So this is your IR2. Negative sequence, obviously, this will be IY2 and this will be your IB2. In positive sequence, phasor rotation is RYB, that is clockwise. IR, IY, IB. In this will be RYB in anti-clockwise. So this is applicable for this one and this is applicable for this one. Okay, IR2, IY2 and this is IB2. Is it clear now?
सर तो एंगल 240 होगा ना? ये 120 लिखे हैं आप यहाँ पे.
Which one? Which one?
या नीचे वाला? हाँ,
ये वाला?
ये उसके बगल वाला.
ये वाला?
हाँ,
यहाँ से यहाँ it is 120 degree. From here it is 240 degree. And as you are multiplying with IR1, obviously this should be IR1 angle 240 degree. Okay, you are right. This will be 240 with reference to IR1.
yes sir.
Okay.
Yes sir.
Now here you see in the this particular negative sequence, this is negative sequence. So negative sequence, this is IR2. So you are getting IY2. So if you multiply A, so this becomes A into IR2. Now with respect to this IR2, if you want to represent this one, so this will be 240 degree. This will be 240 degree. So this will be IB2 will be A square into IR2. Any doubt? Any doubt on anyone? Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So thank you. We'll close this today's class now. Okay, attendance is also over. So thank you. Next class will continue. Okay, thank you. I'm closing.